Hey my friends, how's it going? It's Ultimus, and for today's video, we're going to be talking about what pretty much anybody else is talking about at this point. We are just a few short weeks away from BlizzCon now, so we're expecting some pretty big announcements specifically for World of Warcraft coming with BlizzCon, especially since Gamescom passed and there was nothing there. So, the big focus though is the convenient data mining of sub-races in WoW's code, basically. Of course, with every expansion coming out, there's always the question of, will we get a new race, new class, both, and everything like that. So there's been a lot of speculation as far as what could the new races be. For any future expansions for WoW, there's questions of the ethereal, since there's seems to not be confirmed, but almost pretty much everything but confirmed at this point, that we're going to have some void themed expansions, especially as we're wrapping up on Argus, as I'm sure most of you guys have finished up with that Argus questline. There's a lot of void stuff in there. The ending of Legion, how that all comes to play. I won't spoil that here. I do have another video up talking about that as well. You guys can check that out if you'd like. There's major spoilers in there though, so watch at your own discretion. So the whole idea of the ethereals as a playable race seemed plausible for the first time since probably Burning Crusade. People have been talking about Naga. Naga possibly could be a playable race, which I would be cool with. I like the Naga, but that always presents the problem that we've had dealing with the question of Naga as a playable race for years is armor models, right? Especially when it comes to leggings and boots. Like, Naga ain't gonna wear boots. That just ain't gonna happen. He's gonna have like a little like tail ring or whatever, but other than that, that's it. It's just not. It's complicated, basically. So with that though, now we have this idea of these sub races now. So basically, what the sub races are that we have data mined so far. There's 4 of them. We have the Nightborn, which most of you will be familiar with. If you did any of the questing in Suramar, which if you played the beginning of Legion, you spent a lot of time there. So you and the Nightborn are BFFs. You guys are exalted, actually, if I may make that joke. Please forgive me. Void Elves, which if you did the majority of and pretty much finished the Argus campaign, you know what I'm talking about there. It's basically what Illyria turns into there at the end of that. So that's cool. Lightforged Draenei, which are pretty much all of the Draenei that we've seen from the Army of Light once we've gotten to Argus. They've got exaggerated horns, much bigger and elaborate on the top of their heads, and they almost have light-type tattoos on them. Typically you'll see them on their torsos and their arms and things like that as well. Almost looks like the marks and markings that Demon Hunters will have, just less dramatic and just light, obviously, as opposed to being more purple and fell-colored. And then we have the High Mountain Tauren, which has my attention for a couple reasons. A lot of you guys know Tauren are actually my favorite race in the entire game. I think they're just dope looking. Lore-wise, they're really cool as well. And I think the High Mountain Tauren are just sick looking. They basically are cows with moose antlers, so that alone is cool. And I'm considering re-rolling Horde for next expansion, so if that's the case, that's definitely aiding in my consideration of re-rolling Horde. So if I can play a High Mountain Tauren as my main, that would be pretty sweet. So lots of really cool stuff. Now, to me, this is all very interesting because sub races are a very old school traditional RPG, MMORPG element. We see a lot of sub race stuff in Dungeons and Dragons. We saw a lot of sub race stuff back in classic MMOs. Like, this is stuff that I thought for sure WoW was going to touch on years ago, just because it was kind of a staple of MMOs. But they just never did. So I thought for sure, well, they'll never touch it. They have all these possible races in the game. But I feel like as they've been flushing out their lore more, we have Chronicles out now. We have 2 volumes. We have a 3rd volume coming out, I believe, the beginning of next year. People are a little more familiar with these sub-races and these variations of races. Again, as people have played through Legion and stuff like that, as they've played through other parts of content, they're seeing these other races that are so similar to their own races that they're playing, and they're like, man, I wanna check that out as well. Even for me, like, I play a human warrior. I think playing a Vrykul would be really nifty. I don't know. I like the concept of it. I really do. There's definitely some concerns with it. There's definitely some interesting theories behind it. But I think it does address one of WoW's glaring issues, and that has been for the longest time, WoW has had a very lackluster selection of character customization, right? We live in a day and age now where you can, decide how big you want your character's nostrils to be on most MMOs, which does that do anything for gameplay? No, but people love character customization. It's why skins sell so well on games that have, skins. Look at Overwatch, look at, League of Legends. Look at Team Fortress 2, just silly little things like hats. Anything that people can do to make it feel a little more custom or unique, they will do. Most people, they pick up a new MMORPG and they want to do character customization stuff. They spend a good 20 minutes to an hour on the character customization screen just dinking around, messing around, seeing what kind of funny, weird concoctions they can make. And so while, WoW doesn't seem like it's ever going to go that direction where they have the slider for how wide you want your character's nostrils to be or how wide set or not you want eyebrows to be, I think this is a step in the right direction. Now, I was watching Asmongold's video on it earlier today, and I do like some of the points he made. Obviously, a big factor to this now is, Blizzard can make a couple extra bucks out of this with race changes or appearance changes. I think, personal here, I think it'd be really cool if, when you purchase the expansion, you basically get like a token or some kind of thing on your account that flags it to where you can do one appearance change if you want on a character. Like say if you already play a Tauren but you really want to be a high mountain Tauren, you can do that and you get one free one out of that. Other than that, you have to create a new character underneath the subrace or again purchase a appearance change, whatever it is. I do like the idea that Asmongold dropped about a quest line. Just to kind of fill in gaps and maybe answer the questions as to why these sub-races are now joining the fights, because they're obviously going to have to break these up for faction, right? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll be completely neutral like Pandaren, which would be cool as well, too. But in general, why would they want to join our fight, right? There's always the question there. So I think a quest line, it could even just be a short. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be insane. It could even be part of the pre-patch stuff, right? Where we're doing quest lines to uncover, why do the Nightborn want to join us, right? We beat Gul'dan. The Legion's done as of the end of Legion, and we're on to something else. So they could just go back to Suramar, rebuild their city, and go on with their lives. More or less. I mean, they could. Same with the High Mountain, they've done the same thing. The Army of Light, all the stuff. And the only ones I could see being compelled to help us would be the Void Elves as a sub-race, because now they're like, we got to stop the Void. And so, again, if Old Gods and Void type stuff ends up being what the next expansion is going to be about, then that makes sense. But everything else is like, okay, why do the Nightborn care enough to come help us? I definitely see Nightborn being more Horde. Lightforged Draenei obviously being Alliance, High Mountain Tauren obviously being Horde, and then Void Elves being Alliance, I could see. Because the Nightborn seem to be more sympathetic, or rather I should say, the Sin'dorei, the Blood Elves, seem to be more sympathetic towards the Nightborn. They definitely seem to have a connection there, because they both bought into the Legion's plans, basically, in one form or another. So there's that empathy there, that sympathy there, that connection that they're able to kind of understand each other. High Mountain Tauren obviously would make sense on the Alliance, and then Lightforged Draenei obviously wouldn't make sense on the Horde. And then Void Elves, just to keep a balance, would land with the Alliance. I don't, because it's not a race that we've had in the game before already, so there's not like a whole lot there already fleshed out. We'll have to wait and see what they do with it. But of course, that does raise the question now of what other sub races could we see? Again, for orcs, we could see orcs from the different clans, from the dwarves, obviously dwarves from the different clans as well, Wildhammer. All that stuff like Frost Dwarves, whatever it is. Humans, Vrykul, things like that would be really, really cool. Look at all the troll tribes that we have. Again, just being able to identify with a lot more of these sub-races and factions and stuff like that of races that are already in the game. The cool thing about this is, and again, I could be completely wrong on this, but it's a very simple way of introducing content. It creates the possibility of content that I think is there for both hardcore and casual players, or group players and or solo players. But it also, it's a very simple thing for Blizzard to implement and then have resources go towards bigger systems and things. Because coming up with the next expansion, right, we're going to have the issue of, okay, weapons now. Without artifact weapons, what are we going to have now? Because we're getting mixed signals. I feel like it's pretty evenly split on who likes artifact weapons, who don't, and I don't know, going back to just monster dropping weapons just would seem kind of weird from this point on. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, we'll have to see what they flush out with the next expansion, because Legion has definitely been the Wild West all over again, it feels like, for World of Warcraft, which is great. They've been trying so many cool things, but time to flush it out and try to settle on stuff. So sub-races, I think, are a good way to address that. Keep stuff that's familiar, add stuff that's new. We'll be seeing a new class with this, who knows? But I have to honestly say I am actually quite excited about the concept of sub-races. I've been wanting sub-races in the game for a while. And I think they'll just be a fun addition. It just gives, again, people a little bit more customization of, I'm a night elf, but I'm also a void elf, right? We've even been seeing some of this stuff with classes, right? We've been seeing a lot of, like, stuff being addressed with some of, like, the different NPCs from the Army of Light. We're seeing Blade Masters and stuff like that. And a couple of the dudes that I can't think of off the top of my head just on the spur of the moment. But there's, like, weird, like, classes almost, rather than races, or different ways to flush out specialities within your spec. So again, as an arms warrior, it's like you're an arms warrior, but then from there you can specialize in other stuff as well. So we have no data on that, obviously. It's just, at this point we're just, spitballing ideas. But I'm very excited to see what comes out of BlizzCon, especially after this data mining. I definitely want to do a video coming up soon this week going over my expectations from BlizzCon, what I think we'll see, what I think we won't see. And we'll see who's right, who's not. I'll probably be wrong, but it's fun to talk about anyways. But either way, the possibility of sub-races, how do we feel about it? What do you guys think about it? Let me know down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you guys. Is there any one that you're more excited about than others? Do you think it's a dumb idea? Would you rather just have races added as a whole? Sorry, dinner's talking back. I got the hiccups, so we're going to have to end this one soon. But yeah, that's all I have to say on this one, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. I do apologize that it has been so long since I've uploaded a video, but this definitely felt like something I wanted to chime in on and share my 2 cents with you guys on. So, as always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you did enjoy. And as always, I'll catch you next time.